Welcome back to the Independence, where Penn Jillette is holding court, and we're holding hands. See? Isn't that nice? Oh, it's been a wild winter in Ukraine, whatever you want to call it, where protesters have been met with deadly bullets over gas. Russia and the EU, as the country teeters on the brink of civil war, the government caved on their law against protests. So, Matt, what is happening?
So,
in Ukraine
within
right
the last few hours, actually, they agreed to suspend this anti-protest law, which is as draconian as anything the European continent has seen in a really long time. It's just an awful thing. You can't go outside in groups of more than 2 people, essentially. And it didn't work, as these things tend to not do. The last 10, 12 days since it's been passed, there's been 200,000 people a day out there occupying government buildings and all this kind of stuff. So because it wasn't working, the government now, under a lot of pressure, has decided to suspend the law. They've offered some members of the opposition places in government. They have refused. It's a very tense situation. 3 or 4 people have died in the last week. There's been incredible footage. I'm sure we're seeing some of it now. And we don't know what's going to happen. And it's all over this push and pull between the EU, which the actual Ukrainians would like to have the country be closer towards, and Russia, who wants to maintain some kind of influence over its former holdings.
And control. And by the way, the Olympics are going to be in Russia. And it seems like the Russians are like, put a boot on their neck and tell these protesters to go home. I don't want any embarrassments around Sochi. Am I wrong?
I don't understand.
Do you think freedom oscillates? Do you think there's a contraction and an expansion to freedom? Because it seems like we're going back to where we were like in 1988.
I think you have to look at bigger chunks. The big graph, things are always getting better on every front. That's just always true. We're always going toward more freedom, less starvation. That's always moving in that way. But there's going to be dips as we go. But
the dips get scary, don't they?
But to think that it oscillates means we're going to go back to this kind of oppression all around the world, and I don't think we're going to.
I mean, maybe we do. Maybe it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah, sure. Or maybe 5 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit more what it looks like to me.
But why are you so scared to travel abroad?
Because I've been over there. Years ago, I went to Egypt, China, and India doing shows about magic, real street magicians in other countries. And foolishly, I thought we wouldn't go to the place that American tourists went, but we'd go to the place that really performed real magic for real people. And I ended up seeing things of poverty and oppression that I didn't want to see. I was much happier watching Sally Struthers go through it on late night TV in the 70s than actually being there myself. It's just really hard. And I get scared is not the right word. I think the right word, and this is perhaps awful to say, it's just sad.
Yeah.
It's sad to see that kind of, especially when you're a magician. What are you going to do? The cups and balls? Don't worry, people, you're starving, but hey, where'd that come from?
That's why I like you, because you're a sensitive person and not afraid to admit it.